Okay, time to make a bit of a mess. So, I already took the head off the ET1, and I was talking about making exhaust modifications on these. So, I finally, I ordered some thin wall brass tubing, or rather thick wall brass pipe, so it would take a thread, and the M6.75 pitch tap, and a cheap little, or die rather, and a cheap die handle from Amazon. This is literally the cheapest die and handle I could find. Because it's only cutting brass, so I figured, what the heck, I can't say anything about whether it would cut steel or anything. It worked fine on the brass with with a bit of oil. I have taken the head off the ET1, put the tubing in there, and I marked the top of it to help me if I'm take it out while I'm cutting. But as you can see here, the carburetor fuel mixer sits on the side like that, and the exhaust comes out. I'm going to cut this tube in a couple places so it'll point up. And there are better ways to do this, but the tool I have is a Dremel, so that is the thing I'm going to use. And I'm leaving it in the head here in the hopes that that provides me some more purchase to hold it while I'm cutting. I have my safety glasses because this cut-off wheel is going to throw a ton of chips. And I'm going to try and make the first cut here 45 degrees. And as we can see, the direction of the cut is already turning the pipe there, so I will need to hold this another way. Rag and a pair of pliers so I don't muck it up too bad. Alright, and see I'm cutting down to the wall on the far side from where my cut started, but I'm not going to cut through the wall of the tubing there because I'm going to use that to protect the other side of the V that I cut. So, and now the head is going to be in the way, so yeah, that's still relatively square, so I'm going to take that off and set the head aside. And still Alright, well, I did that at 90 degrees instead of the one I was shooting for. Alright, That is the fun of doing this with a Dremel and not with a more accurate tool, but use the end of a file in there because it's got sharp corners. Because this is brass, that'll work fine for a quick little deburr. And this fat tubing that I got is ID just right for holding the ends here so I can bend it and then do a test fit. Alright, so that gets me my first bend there, and then because I want this to be vertical I have to give it another bend. Where did my marker go? The peril of every single time you do anything. Aha, there's my marker. So, we'll try to put our bend right about there. And since we've already learned that having this in the head isn't useful, take that off and still have to hold from this end because we're trying to cut near that and I need all the room I can get. I do, however, need to hold closer. Well, just a touch deeper. Alright, now check this side. It's not quite as deep as the other side, so I'm gonna there, now it's about even. And now it's just a guesswork game. I'm going to try cutting about like that. Alright. My file handle isn't going to fit in that hole now, so we'll put the grinding burr on the Dremel. If you're using your Dremel for any of this cutting work, definitely get the reinforced fiber discs, because the regular grinding cutting wheels just do not last very long on actual cutting work, especially in softer materials. go. All right. I know what we'll do. There we go. And oh, this side didn't get cut open quite as far. There. Trim that out a little bit. There we go. So we got this shape, and spin our head on there. Good. Every once in a while I feel like I'm drifting out of shot, but alright. That's snugged in there. Lines up like that pretty good. And holding it like this, it is not quite vertical. So, gonna take it off and just cut down into this second gap a little bit. Sorry, I had to check that when I banged like that, it didn't bang up the threads too bad. So. Alright. New gap there. One more bend. Oh no. There we go. Okay. There we go. I think that's pretty vertical there. So, now that we have that in, on the outside is all good there. Because I left these sides of the pipe intact, this should be perfectly suitable right now. I am going to cut this off right about here, because I think that'll be a nice height above the water tank. Bring this in and... oh, totally forgot about the push rod. Look at that. Alright, well, I will redo this. I have another pipe, so it's no big deal. All I have to do is make this section long enough to clear the push rod so it comes out and around like that. Alright, good thing we checked that, huh? Alright, well, I'm gonna take this part as a pattern and redo it, but I'm not going to video that because this video is kind of getting long and it's going to be the exact same process. So I guess people will see tomorrow how that turned out, because I'll finish this up and then put it on the engine and it'll be in use tomorrow, on Saturday when we run. So just there. If I have that straight, then it works as a pattern on the next piece. There's my button.